The boy walked alone under the red sky. Dust clung to his bare feet as he crossed the empty plain. He was small, thin, and his clothes were torn. No one waited for him. No one called his name. He was an orphan, forgotten by people, forgotten by the world. Each step was heavy, but he kept moving. He had no home, no family, no safe place to rest. His stomach growled with hunger. His throat burned with thirst. Still, he walked. Where would he go? He did not know. He only knew he could not stop. As the sun dropped low, the boy heard something. A deep roar, not from an animal, but from water. His heart jumped. Water meant life. He ran toward the sound, pushing through bushes, stumbling over rocks until the trees opened and he saw it. A river, wide, fast, and angry. The water crashed against dark stones. The current foamed white, pulling anything that touched it into the depths. The sound was so loud it drowned his thoughts. The boy stared, both in awe and fear. Then he saw movement. Across the river on a flat rock stood a tall figure, not human. Its skin shone pale blue, marked with glowing lines that pulsed like veins of light. Its head was long, with ridges like carved stone, and its arms shook as it leaned on a crooked staff. An alien elder. The boy froze. His heart pounded. He had heard whispers of strange beings in the forest, powerful, mysterious, dangerous. Some said they hated humans. Some said they captured wanderers and never let them go. The boy crouched low behind a bush. His mind screamed at him to stay hidden, but his eyes would not look away. The elder was trying to cross. The alien's leg trembled with weakness. One side of its body dragged, stiff and slow. It stepped into the river, water rushing up to its knees. The current pushed hard. The staff slipped. The elder stumbled. The boy gasped softly. The alien almost fell. The elder fought the river, but the water grew stronger. A step forward, then 2 steps back. Its breathing grew heavy. It reached for a stone, missed, and nearly dropped into the torrent. The boy's chest tightened. He knew what drowning looked like. He had seen it before in the floods of his ruined village. He could see it now in the alien's struggle. Should he run? Should he hide? If he stepped out, the alien might kill him. Or worse, call its tribe. But if he stayed hidden, the elder would die. The boy's eyes burned. He had lost people before. He had seen death take them away. And something deep inside whispered, "Not this time." His hands shook, but he stood. His legs wanted to run, but he walked forward. Step by step out of the trees onto the rocks. The elder turned its head. Its glowing eyes locked on the boy. The boy froze, his breath caught in his throat. The alien's stare was sharp, unreadable. Was it anger? Surprise? Fear? A long moment passed. The roar of the river filled the silence between them. Then, without a word, the boy stepped into the water. The cold hit him like a blade. The current yanked at his legs, pulling him sideways. He staggered but pushed forward. The river tried to drag him down, but he fought. His small arms reached the elder's side. The alien flinched, as if not sure whether to accept or reject the touch. But when the boy pushed his shoulder under the elder's arm, the alien leaned on him. Heavy. Too heavy for his thin frame. The river roared louder, splashing against their bodies. The rocks were sharp beneath his feet. He slipped once, twice, nearly falling, but each time he pushed harder. His lungs burned, his legs shook, but he did not let go. Together they moved, step by step, fighting the river. The elder leaned heavily on him, breath rough, body trembling. The boy gritted his teeth. He would not fail, not here. Not now. At last his foot touched solid ground, the far bank. With one last push, he pulled the elder onto the shore. Both collapsed on the wet sand, gasping for air. For a moment, there was no sound but their breathing and the endless roar of the river. The boy sat up slowly. His chest rose and fell fast. His arms ached. His legs burned. But he was alive. And the elder was alive too. The alien sat up, leaning on its staff. It looked at the boy again. Its glowing eyes were deep, ancient, unreadable. The boy's heart raced. He had done it. He had saved the alien. But what now? Would the elder thank him, or strike him down? The alien's gaze did not soften, did not harden. It simply watched. The boy felt small under that stare. He felt seen, truly seen, for the first time in his life, and then, footsteps. From the trees behind the elder, shadows moved. Figures stepped out, tall and silent. More aliens. Their eyes glowed like fireflies in the dark. Weapons gleamed in their hands. The boy's breath caught in his throat. He had saved one life. But had he just given away his own? The river still thundered behind him, but the boy's ears now caught a different sound. Footsteps, low voices. The alien tribe was coming closer. The boy's heart pounded. His body was weak, his clothes soaked, but he stood tall. His eyes darted to the elder he had just saved. The old alien leaned on his crooked staff, glowing eyes steady. The elder said nothing, only watched the boy with a calm, unreadable face. The shadows broke open. Tall figures stepped from the trees, one after another, surrounding the boy. Their skin shone the same pale blue, their armor made of dark stone and bone. In their hands were sharp weapons that glimmered in the fading light. The boy froze. His hands trembled at his sides. These were no humans. They were warriors, strong and silent, and they did not hide their suspicion. One alien stepped forward, taller than the rest. His voice was deep, his language strange, but his eyes told the truth. Distrust, anger, threat. The boy wanted to run. His heart screamed at him to escape, but his legs would not move. If he fled now, they would cut him down before he reached the trees. If he stayed, they might still kill him. The elder raised his staff. The warriors stopped at once. All eyes turned to the old one. The elder spoke, his voice rough but strong, the words sharp and flowing. The tribe listened. Some frowned, some muttered. A few looked at the boy with surprise. Though he could not understand the alien words, the boy understood the weight of that moment. The elder was speaking for him. But what was he saying? The warriors' eyes flicked between the elder and the boy. Some lowered their weapons, others gripped them tighter. The boy's breath came shallow. Suspense twisted his chest. He had risked his life for the elder. Would it matter? The elder looked at him again. For the first time, the boy saw something in that glowing gaze. Not anger, not hate, something softer. Respect. The elder stepped closer to him, staff tapping the ground, slowly, painfully. The elder raised his long hand and touched the boy's chest, right above his heart. The warriors murmured loudly. The boy did not know the words, but he felt the shift. This meant something. This touch was a sign. The boy's fear wavered. A small flame of hope flickered inside. But hope lasted only a moment. The tall warrior, the leader, shook his head and barked harsh words. His weapon rose again. His face showed no mercy. The boy's blood turned cold. His chance of survival was slipping away. The elder shouted, his voice breaking through the noise like thunder. The warriors fell silent again. The elder's glowing eyes did not leave the leader. They locked in a battle of will. Then the elder did something no one expected. He leaned heavily on the boy. The boy almost stumbled under the weight, but he caught himself. The elder rested one arm over the boy's thin shoulders, showing the tribe that the human orphan had carried him, had helped him, had saved him. Gasps echoed through the warriors. Their weapons wavered. Their eyes grew uncertain. The boy stood frozen, heart pounding, the elder's arm heavy on him. He felt the elder's trust, his choice, and his fear slowly turned into courage. The tribe leader scowled. He pointed at the boy, then at the dark forest behind them. His words were sharp, cutting, final. The elder lowered his head, his glowing eyes dim. The boy could not understand, but he felt the meaning. A test. A trial. The tribe would not accept him so easily. They wanted proof. They wanted to see if this small, fragile human had any worth. The boy's chest tightened. He had already risked his life in the river. Was that not enough? But the elder's hand pressed gently on his shoulder as if saying, "Do not fear." The leader pointed again, this time to the forest where the shadows deepened. A rare fruit grew there, glowing with silver light. It was dangerous to reach, guarded by beasts and darkness. Many warriors feared that path, but they demanded the boy walk it. Alone. The boy's stomach twisted with fear. He was only a child, no sword, no shield, no food. Just his courage and his will to live. Could he survive? The tribe waited. The elder's eyes shone softly, watching him with trust. The boy swallowed hard. His legs shook, but he nodded once. The warrior stepped aside, opening a path into the dark forest. The air inside looked heavy, thick, alive with strange whispers. The trees loomed tall like towers hiding secrets. The boy took one step forward. Then another. His heart raced, but he kept moving. Behind him, the river roared. The tribe murmured. The elder leaned on his staff, never looking away. The boy vanished into the shadows of the forest. The forest swallowed the boy whole. The trees stood like silent giants, their roots curling like snakes across the ground. Strange lights flickered between the branches. Eyes, or maybe fireflies, he could not tell. Every sound was louder here, the crack of a twig, the rustle of leaves, the hiss of hidden creatures. The boy's small body trembled, but he kept walking. His task was clear. The tribe wanted him to find the glowing fruit hidden deep inside this dark world. If he failed, he would be cast out, or worse. Behind him, he could still feel the weight of the tribe's eyes. He imagined them standing at the riverbank, weapons ready, waiting for him to return or to never come back. He remembered the elder's hand on his shoulder, heavy but kind. That memory pushed him forward. The air grew colder as he walked deeper. The sky disappeared behind the leaves. He could no longer hear the river. Only the whisper of wind and the steady beat of his own frightened heart. He stumbled on a root and fell to his knees. Dirt filled his hands, sharp stones cut his skin, but he bit down on his pain. He had known pain before. Pain was nothing new. What scared him was the silence. Silence meant something was watching. Then he heard it, a low growl. The boy froze. His eyes darted left, right, searching the shadows. The growl came again, deeper this time, vibrating through the trees. Something large moved between the trunks, its body sliding with slow power. Two glowing yellow eyes appeared in the darkness, a beast. The boy's chest tightened. He had no weapon, no shield. Just his small fists and a thin stick he carried from the riverbank. His legs wanted to run, but his mind screamed, "If you run, it will chase you." The beast stepped out. Its body was covered in dark scales, its jaw wide with teeth like knives. Its claws dug into the earth, tearing the ground as it crawled forward. The boy gripped his stick. His hand shook, but he raised it high. His voice broke the silence, trembling but brave. "Stay back." The beast did not listen. It lunged. The boy jumped aside, rolling across the dirt. The claws missed him by a breath. He scrambled to his feet, stick still in hand. The beast snarled and turned, eyes glowing brighter. The boy's lungs burned. His heart raced. He thought of running again, but something inside him whispered, "No, you cannot run." Not this time. He remembered the elder leaning on him, trusting him. He remembered the tribe's cold eyes. If he gave up now, they would be right. He was weak, worthless, nothing. The boy tightened his grip on the stick and faced the beast again. The creature roared, shaking the forest. Birds burst from the trees. The boy stood firm. His thin body looked small against the monster, but his spirit stood taller than ever. The beast charged again. This time the boy leapt forward, not back. He swung the stick with all his strength. It cracked against the beast's snout. The sound echoed sharp. The creature howled, staggering for a moment. The boy's arms ached. His stick splintered, but he raised it again, ready for another strike. The beast shook its head, anger boiling in its glowing eyes. It lunged once more, faster, claws cutting the air. The boy jumped aside again, his foot slipping on wet ground. He fell hard, the stick flying from his hand. The beast towered over him now, breath hot, teeth ready to tear. The boy's eyes widened. His chest heaved. He thought of the river, of drowning, of being pulled under. He thought of all the times he had been powerless, not now, not here. His hand closed on a rock, sharp, heavy. The beast lunged down. With a cry, the boy struck. The rock smashed against the side of the beast's head. The creature howled, stumbling back, crashing into the trees. Leaves and branches rained down as it thrashed, then disappeared into the shadows, its growl fading into the distance. Silence returned. The boy lay on the ground, chest rising and falling fast. His hand bled from the sharp edges of the rock. His whole body shook. But he was alive. He had faced the beast and survived. Slowly he stood. His legs trembled, but he moved forward. His eyes searched the forest floor, and then he saw it. A tree stood in the center of a clearing, its branches twisted like reaching arms. From those branches hung fruits glowing silver, soft light spilling into the dark. The fruit of the trial. The boy's lips parted. His heart filled with relief. He had found it. He climbed carefully, ignoring the cuts on his hands. He reached for one glowing fruit and pulled it free. Its light warmed his skin, its glow bright in the shadows. For a moment he forgot the tribe, the fear, the beast. He simply stared at the fruit in wonder. It was beautiful, alive. But the forest was never silent for long. Behind him, leaves rustled. A branch snapped. The boy turned sharply, clutching the fruit to his chest. His eyes widened, shadows moved again. But these were not beasts. They were tall, walking on two legs. Weapons gleamed in their hands. Their eyes glowed pale blue. More of the tribe. They had followed him. The boy clutched the glowing fruit against his chest. Its silver light spilled across his thin arms and tired face, but the shadows around him grew deeper. From those shadows, the tribe appeared. Tall figures stepped out of the trees one by one. Their pale blue skin glowed faintly in the dark, and their weapons caught the silver light of the fruit. Their eyes were sharp, filled with suspicion, and they moved with the silence of hunters. The boy's heart thumped hard. His breath came fast. He had thought he was alone. He had fought the beast, bled for the fruit, and believed the trial was his. But now the warriors stood before him, their stares heavy like stone. The leader, the same tall warrior from the river, pushed forward. His armor of dark bone rattled as he moved. He looked at the fruit, then at the boy. His face was cold, his mouth twisting with disdain. The boy gripped the fruit tighter. He would not give it up, not after all he had endured. The leader barked words in the alien tongue. The other warriors answered with sharp, low voices. The boy could not understand, but he knew what they meant. Doubt, anger, challenge. Then the forest trembled. A staff struck the earth. The elder had arrived. The tribe parted, making way for him. He stepped slowly into the clearing, his body leaning heavily on his crooked staff. His eyes glowed with wisdom, ancient and deep. He looked first at the boy, then at the fruit. The boy's chest rose and fell quickly. He could not read the elder's face. Was it approval? Disappointment? The elder spoke. His voice carried weight, strong even in weakness. The tribe listened in silence. Then he gestured at the boy. The boy's throat tightened. He knew what was happening. The elder was asking him to show the fruit. With shaking hands, the boy raised it high. Its silver light washed over the tribe. For a moment, their hard eyes softened. A murmur passed through them, voices surprised, almost impressed, but not the leader. His scowl deepened. He stepped closer, towering over the boy. His hand stretched out, demanding the fruit. The boy shook his head. His arms clutched it tight. No, he whispered, though he knew they did not understand his language. I found it. I fought for it. It's mine, the tribe murmured louder. The warriors looked at one another, confused by his refusal. The leader's face twisted with anger. His hand dropped to the hilt of his weapon. The elder's staff struck the ground again. The sound echoed like thunder. The warriors froze. Even the leader stopped, the elder's glowing eyes fixed on the boy. He raised his hand slowly, palm open as if to say, "Give it to me." "Trust me." The boy hesitated. His chest ached, his arms trembled. But something in the elder's eyes calmed him. Slowly he stepped forward and placed the fruit in the elder's hand. The elder lifted it high. The silver glow bathed his face. His voice rose, strong and deep, carrying through the trees. The tribe answered, their voices like a chorus rising and falling. The boy's heart lifted. He thought, maybe this is it. Maybe they will accept me. But the moment did not last. The leader shouted again. His words were sharp, cutting through the chant. He pointed at the boy, then at the forest beyond the clearing. His expression was clear. This was not enough. The boy's stomach sank. Another trial. The elder lowered his staff, his eyes heavy with thought. He spoke softly, but even his voice carried weight. The warriors fell silent. Then he turned to the boy. His gaze was not cruel, not angry, but filled with something else. Testing. Waiting. The elder pointed to the ground, then to the boy's heart, then to the darkness deeper in the forest. The boy understood. The glowing fruit was not the end. It was only the beginning. The tribe wanted to see more. They wanted to test not just his strength, but his spirit. Would he endure? Would he break? The boy's knees felt weak. His body ached from the fight with the beast. His hands bled from sharp stones. His hunger gnawed at him, his throat dry. And now they asked for more. Part of him wanted to scream. Part of him wanted to run into the forest and never come back. But then he looked at the elder. The old alien stood tall despite his weak leg. He leaned on his staff, but his presence filled the clearing. He had trusted the boy at the river. He had leaned on him, accepted his help, and stood beside him against his own tribe. The boy could not turn away now. His lips pressed tight, his eyes filled with fire. He nodded once. The elder's face softened, almost a smile, before he turned and raised the glowing fruit for all to see. The tribe chanted again, their voices echoing through the forest. Some eyes looked at the boy with respect, others with doubt, but none could ignore him now. The leader snarled, but he did not strike. Not yet. The boy stood in the center of the clearing, his heart pounding, his body shaking. He knew the truth now. This was not just a test. It was a choice. If he failed, he would be nothing, less than nothing, cast into darkness. If he succeeded, his life would never be the same. The forest at night was a different world. Darkness pressed down from the sky, swallowing the trees, the ground, even the air. Every branch looked like a claw. Every shadow looked like it moved. The boy stood at the edge of the clearing, staring into the black. His chest rose and fell fast. His heart felt like a drum. Behind him, the tribe watched in silence. Their glowing eyes followed his every move. The leader's face was sharp, cold, waiting for the boy to fail. The elder stood among them, leaning on his staff. His expression was unreadable, but his eyes carried weight. They seemed to say, "Do not give up. Walk forward." The boy swallowed hard. His legs trembled, but he stepped into the dark. The trees closed behind him, and the tribe's glowing eyes faded away. He was alone, truly alone. The air was thick and heavy. Strange sounds drifted through the branches, whispers, growls, clicks. The boy gripped a broken branch he had picked up from the ground. It was not much, but it was something. His only weapon. He walked slowly, each step careful. Roots twisted under his feet. Leaves crunched softly. The forest felt alive, like it was watching him. After some time, he found a small stream. The water glowed faintly, filled with tiny silver creatures that shined like stars. The boy knelt and drank. The coolness soothed his dry throat, but it also reminded him how empty his stomach was. His eyes lifted to the trees. Somewhere out there, deeper in the shadows, was the real challenge. The elder had spoken of courage. The leader had demanded proof. This was it. He kept walking, time blurred. The night stretched long. The boy grew more tired with every step, but he refused to stop. He thought of the elder's heavy hand on his shoulder. He thought of the tribe's sharp eyes. And deeper still, he thought of himself, a lonely orphan who had always been unwanted. This was his chance. His only chance to be more than nothing. Then the forest changed. The air grew colder. The trees bent lower, their branches hanging like long fingers. The ground turned soft and wet, sucking at his feet. Mist curled around his legs, thick and white, and then he heard it. Not a growl, not a whisper. A voice soft, strange, almost human. "Boy." The boy froze. His eyes darted around, searching. "Who's there?" His voice cracked, thin in the silence. No answer, only the rustle of leaves. He stepped forward slowly, gripping his stick tighter. His heart hammered so loud he thought it would burst. Again, the voice. Closer this time. "Boy, why are you here?" The mist shifted. A shape appeared between the trees. Tall, dark, moving like smoke. Its eyes glowed faint red, not like the tribe's blue light. The boy's breath caught. This was not a beast. This was something else. Something older. It stepped closer, and the mist seemed to follow it. Its face was hidden, but its voice flowed into his mind like cold water. "You do not belong. Leave this forest. Leave this world." The boy shook his head, even though fear clawed at his chest. "No," he whispered. "I can't leave." The shadow tilted its head. "Why suffer? Why bleed? You are small. You are weak. You will never be one of them." The words struck deep. They were the same words he had heard all his life. From villagers, from strangers, from the silence of empty nights. Weak, worthless, alone. His knees felt weak. His eyes burned. For a moment, he wanted to believe the shadow, to turn back, to give up. But then he remembered the river. The elder falling, the current roaring, his small hands pulling with all their strength. He remembered standing against the beast, lifting the rock with bleeding hands. He had survived. He had chosen not to give up before. Why stop now? His voice shook, but it was firm. "I may be small. I may be weak. But I will not stop." The shadow's red eyes flared. The mist thickened, swirling around him. The boy lifted his stick, holding it tight even as his hands trembled. The shadow lunged. The boy swung. The stick cracked through the mist, hitting nothing, but the shadow recoiled as if struck. It hissed, a sound like fire dying. The boy's chest heaved. His arms shook. But he stood tall. Again the shadow whispered, "You will regret this." And then it melted into the mist, vanishing like smoke in the wind. Silence. The boy dropped to his knees. His stick fell from his hand. His whole body trembled, but his eyes were wide with fire. He had faced the darkness inside the forest and inside himself. The mist began to clear. The trees opened, and ahead, deep in the shadows, he saw a faint light. Another fruit, larger, brighter, glowing with silver and gold. It pulsed like a beating heart. The boy staggered forward. His hand still shook, but he reached for it. His fingers brushed the smooth surface. Warmth filled his palm. He pulled it free. The glow lit his face, chasing away the dark. For the first time in his life, the boy smiled, but far behind him, hidden in the forest, the red eyes still watched. The test was not over. The forest slowly thinned and the night sky opened above. The boy staggered out from the shadows, dirt on his face, blood on his hands, and a glow in his arms. The fruit, it shined silver and gold, pulsing like a living heart. Its light wrapped around his thin frame, showing every cut, every bruise, every scar he carried. His steps were weak but steady. Each one brought him closer to the river, closer to the tribe waiting on the other side. When the trees parted, he saw them. The tribe stood in silence. Tall, strong, their pale blue skin glowing faintly in the moonlight. Their eyes burned as they saw the fruit in his hands. Some widened in shock, others narrowed with doubt. At their center stood the leader, armor dark, eyes sharp. His face twisted with disbelief, and beside him, leaning on his crooked staff, stood the elder. The boy's chest tightened. The elder's eyes found him at once, glowing with something softer now, pride perhaps, or hope. The boy crossed the open ground and stopped before them. His knees felt weak, but he lifted the fruit high, letting its silver light spill across the tribe. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Murmurs spread quickly. He had done what many of their own feared to do. He had walked the forest of shadows, faced its dangers, and returned alive. The elder stepped forward, staff tapping the ground. His hand rose, and the boy placed the fruit in it. The elder lifted it high, his voice ringing deep and strong. The tribe answered with a chant, their voices rising and falling like a storm, but not everyone joined. The leader stepped forward. His voice cut through the chant like a blade. His words were sharp, his tone full of anger. He pointed at the boy, then at the forest, then at the ground beneath their feet. His meaning was clear. The boy was still human, still an outsider. The tribe fell silent. All eyes turned back to the elder. The elder's glowing eyes never left the boy. He spoke calmly, slowly, his words heavy with power. He lifted the fruit again, then pointed to the boy's chest, right where his heart beat fast. The boy stood frozen. He could not understand the words, but he understood the gesture. The elder was saying the truth came from here, not from size, not from strength, but from the heart. The crowd murmured louder. Some nodded, some argued. The leader's face darkened. Then the leader drew his weapon. The blade glimmered under the moonlight, sharp as fire. He pointed it at the boy, his voice loud, his words filled with fury. He was not asking anymore, he was declaring. The boy's breath caught. His whole body tensed. He had no weapon, no shield, nothing to defend himself. He could only stand and face whatever came. The elder struck his staff on the ground. The sound boomed like thunder. The tribe froze. The elder spoke again, his voice low but commanding. His eyes burned into the leader's. For a long moment, silence hung heavy between them. Then the elder did something unexpected. He stepped to the boy's side. The elder placed his hand once more on the boy's shoulder, leaning on him, showing the tribe what he had shown before. Trust. The frail alien elder trusted this small human child with his life. The boy's chest swelled. His fear did not vanish, but it no longer ruled him. He stood taller, steadier under the elder's touch. The tribe stirred. Warriors looked at each other, their doubt breaking into whispers. Some lowered their weapons. Some tilted their heads, confused but no longer angry. The leader growled, his jaw tight. His blade lowered an inch, then another. The elder raised the fruit again, his voice echoing across the river, into the forest, up into the night sky. The tribe answered, their chant louder this time, stronger, filled with power. The boy's heart pounded. He realized what was happening. This was the choice. The tribe had to decide, reject him or accept him. The elder's voice fell silent. He turned to the boy and looked deep into his eyes. His glowing gaze seemed to ask a question without words. Are you ready for this life? The boy nodded. His lips did not move, but his answer was clear. Yes, I am ready. The elder raised his staff one last time. The tribe bowed their heads as the chant rolled like thunder. But not all. The leader still stood, eyes sharp, jaw tight. He did not bow. He did not speak. His weapon lowered, but his hatred did not fade. His silence was a promise that this was not the end. The boy felt it too. The trial was not fully over. He had won the tribe's respect, perhaps even their acceptance. But not everyone wished him welcome. Still, as the elder placed the fruit into his hands again, warm and glowing, the boy felt something new. For the first time in his life, he was not invisible, not forgotten, not unwanted. The tribe had seen him, and now they would have to decide who he truly was. The boy stood in the circle of warriors, the glowing fruit warm in his hands. The silver light spilled across the tribe, across their pale blue faces, across the sharp weapons that no longer pointed at him. The chants faded into silence. Only the sound of the river roared behind them, steady and endless. The elder lifted his staff high. His voice rang out, old but strong. Every word carried weight, every syllable heavy with meaning. The boy could not understand the language, but he felt it in his bones. This was not just speech, it was judgment. The tribe bowed their heads as the elder spoke. All but one. The leader stood rigid, his blade still in hand, his eyes burning with quiet anger. His silence was sharp as steel. The elder turned to the boy. His glowing eyes softened. He lowered his staff and placed one long hand gently on the boy's chest. Then in a deep voice he spoke a single word, a word the boy did not know yet somehow understood. A name. His new name. The boy's eyes widened. His lips parted, but no sound came. The tribe echoed the word, voices rising together, calling out the name the elder had given him. For the first time, the boy was not orphan. He was not outsider. He was something more. Someone who belonged. The fruit's glow seemed to burn brighter, wrapping him in silver light. The warriors lowered their weapons fully now. Some even touched their chest with open palms, a gesture of respect. The boy's chest swelled. His eyes burned with tears, but he did not look away. He stood tall, holding the fruit, standing in the place where once he had been nothing. The elder raised his staff again, and the tribe broke into movement. They lit fires by the river, their flames crackling into the night. Strange instruments were struck, drums of hide, horns of bone. Voices rose in song, low and deep, echoing through the forest. A celebration. The boy had survived the trial. More than that, he had been chosen. Food was brought, strange glowing plants and roasted beasts from the forest. The boy was offered a piece of meat on a carved bone plate. His hands trembled as he took it. His stomach ached with hunger, but his heart ached more. No one had ever shared a meal with him before. Not like this, not with respect. The elder sat beside him, leaning on his staff, his eyes watching with quiet pride. The boy looked at him, then at the tribe, then down at the food in his hands. For a moment he forgot the river, the beasts, the shadows. He forgot the loneliness of his old life. He felt only warmth, fire on his face, food in his hands, belonging in his heart. But not everyone celebrated. Across the fire, the leader sat in silence, his weapon resting at his side. His eyes never left the boy. They were sharp, cold, burning with something darker than doubt. The boy felt the stare but did not flinch. He had faced the river. He had faced the beast. He had faced the shadow in the forest. He could face this too. The night wore on. The songs grew louder. The flames rose higher. The tribe danced in heavy steps, their shadows stretching long across the ground. The boy sat still, watching, listening, feeling the weight of the moment. He was no longer alone. The elder's trust had changed everything. When the fire burned low, the elder rose again. He tapped his staff on the ground and silence fell. His glowing eyes scanned the tribe, then rested once more on the boy. He spoke slowly, carefully. His hand gestured at the boy, then at the tribe, then at the sky. The boy did not understand the words, but he understood the meaning. He was no longer just a guest. He was one of them. The tribe bowed their heads. Some touched their chests again. Others raised their weapons high in salute. The boy's heart pounded. His throat felt tight. He wanted to cry, but no tears came. Instead, he lifted the fruit high as the elder had done. Its silver glow lit the faces around him. The tribe cheered. The leader did not. His silence cut deeper than any shout. But even his anger could not erase the truth. The boy had been accepted. The orphan who once walked alone now had a family. The boy looked at the elder, and for the first time, he spoke aloud. His voice was soft but clear. "Thank you." The elder's lips curved into the smallest of smiles. Above them, the stars burned bright. The river roared on. And the boy knew his life had changed forever. He was no longer just a survivor. No longer just a shadow in the world. He was a name, a member, a spark of hope between two worlds. And as the fires dimmed and the night grew quiet, one truth echoed in his heart. Sometimes, a single act of kindness can change everything.